Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing a mock draft that's not from anyone at this table, but from Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network analyst. So we're going to take a look at his mock draft 1.0 released recently, review it, say what we like, so we don't like, go through pick by pick. So without further ado, let's start this mock draft review.
Yeah, and just to start it off, well, first of all, Daniel Jeremiah, he is very professional at this. It was mainly Mike Mayock before, who is the main guy for drafting, but he is with the Raiders now, so Daniel Jeremiah is the main mock draft guy with all the scouting and stuff. Yeah, Charles Castle is in there.
But yeah,
and they're all, there's a few, but Daniel Jeremiah is probably the most famously known one, so even if we don't agree with him, he knows his stuff, so... Anyways, we start with the number one pick. That is the Bengals. He has Joe Burrow, as he probably should. We all agree with that.
I don't even think we need to spend time on that. He's so good.
Yeah.
Next one.
He can drop balls into buckets.
Okay. Next one is the Redskins at 2. He has Chase Young at edge. I'm pretty.
The draft starts at 3.
Yeah, really.
Well, at least right now.
Yeah, it really does.
Unless for some reason the Bengals were trying to trade that pick, which they shouldn't.
No. Unless the Panthers give him like a first round picks for a decade or something.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's such a good guy and a position in need. You gotta go with Chase Young.
Next one is 3, Jeff Okudah to the Lions.
This is where you start to go, okay, well now there's a little bit of controversy, but I do agree with this pick. I think they should go Jeff Okudah, and I think it'll work out if they do so.
I agree. You know, at number 3, there's gonna be a lot of teams calling to trade up, but Jeff Okudah is a great talent for Detroit. And you know, some you might say it's a little bit of a reach, but you know, there's times in the draft you just gotta reach. You know, obviously, I don't think they quite should go quarterback here, so I like Okudah.
Yeah, get someone
they have to go somewhere on defense.
Slade
they could go defensive line, but there's. I mean, the nearest defensive lineman is probably Isaiah Simmons or Derek Brown, so would they want to take him at that spot? I don't know. But I agree with this pick as well.
That wouldn't be a reach, but I just feel like they would go cornerback.
This is...
Next pick is the Giants at 4, Mekhi Becton.
I think it's Mekhi.
It's Mekhi Becton.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to say
Mekhi Becton.
You made it harder than it is.
Mekhi Becton. Evaluate. No one?
Oh, evaluate? Okay, I'll evaluate. First of all, I don't want to judge this guy too early because I haven't had the chance to watch film on him yet. But I looked at this the first time and I was like, I barely know who this guy is. Like, I knew his name, but I was like, there's no way this guy's a first-round prospect. But we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I like the position, and I think that there's a lot of talented offensive linemen in this class, but I don't know why the draft community is just forgetting about Andrew Thomas. You know, he's a guy, like, I don't think he's really done anything bad. He was part of one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in the nation, and that being that of the Georgia Bulldogs. You know, Joe Judge has stressed that he wants to have an old-school physical mentality. I don't think that's bad. It's just I think it's the right position, but I just don't think that Mekhi Becton is the guy to be at this number 4 pick. If there's an offensive lineman that's worth being taken at 4, I think it's Andrew Thomas.
And the only argument with that is they could use some help on their defense, but they don't need to go with that at that spot. Next one is 5.
One more thing. I think the position is the right position. I think they will go.
Gotta protect Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
We already had said that.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to make that known, especially with Joe Judge.
Brian literally just said that. Next one is pick 5 with the Dolphins. He has Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
I say that's pretty good.
Assuming no one trades in front, that's where you go.
Yeah,
the thing is
it's a real possibility.
Ryan Fitzpatrick confirmed that he will be coming back, and most likely with the Dolphins, so that'll be interesting to see what they want to do at the quarterback position. And just a quick shout out, if you haven't seen the video already, go check out the Dolphins offseason outlook. We talk about more of that in detail, what they can do with the quarterback position, and more with the Dolphins. And if you haven't checked out the Raiders one that's also out, go check that one out too.
We'll get to that when we get to 12.
Yeah, well, there will be more of those types of videos coming. Next one is 6 with the Chargers, Jedrick Wills.
Jedrick?
I don't know why I'm reading wrong. Jedrick Wills.
It's your first time reading these names?
Yeah.
Some of them, yeah.
I think, once again, right position, wrong player. I think what they can do later on the draft is get a quarterback, but right now they need to find a foundation on the offensive line. But I think you go with Tristan Wirfs or Andrew Thomas at the pick. No disrespect to Jedrick Wills. I just think he should go a little bit behind them. Still a first-round prospect in my eyes, though.
Yeah, again, and I think that, you know, could it be Justin Herbert here? Yes. You know, obviously he was one of the big risers, you know, with the Pac-12 championship, Rose Bowl, good Senior Bowl week. That's a possibility here, too, with Philip Rivers moving on from LA completely. If you're going to take an offensive lineman this high, again, I said it with the Giants, I think it should be Andrew Thomas.
And we're going to see what happens with Phillip Rivers, but I personally, what?
Nothing.
What are you saying?
No, I'm just nothing.
No, we're not doing
What are you
anything.
smiling at? If you have something to tell me, then tell me.
No, nothing. Go on what you're saying.
Okay.
You didn't say anything wrong.
Okay. Well, you're making me seem like it. Now I feel uncomfortable to talk.
Okay then.
Well, they could go quarterback like Ryan said, so it just depends on how they feel about Phillip Rivers. Next one is, I still feel uncomfortable. Number 7 is Panthers' Derek Brown.
Good.
I mean,
If he's there.
it's not bad, but I mean, I think with the retirement of Luke Kuechly, I think they should at least take a long look at Isaiah Simmons.
I
that
I
makes
agree with
sense.
that completely. But I do think that their new style is going to be building up the defensive line. I just feel like that's what Matt Rule is going to want to do. And I know Isaiah Simmons is still on the table, but Derek Brown is also another guy that has just as much talent, just at a different position.
Next one, pick number 8, is the Cardinals. He has Tristan Wirfs.
Once again, right position, wrong player. You still got to pick Andrew Thomas, but Tristan Wirfs deserves to be up there. I think you could go either way with those two. I think those two are very close to each other, but offensive line is where they need to go, and they did not do last year. Fix your mistakes and draft Tristan Wirfs or Andrew Thomas.
You're right. Please don't go on a rant.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
about that.
I don't know if Cliff Kingsbury could,
If
if he has the strength to do this here, because this is an offensive
CeeDee Lamb
lineman.
might still be
Yeah,
there.
this isn't the flashy receiver. This guy isn't going to be an air raid guy, but he's going to help you win football games. So Cliff Kingsbury, if you draft what's going to help your team win rather than just what looks cool, you might actually have some success.
Next pick number 9, is the Jaguars, and he has Isaiah Simmons.
Good.
I like
Yeah,
it.
if he's available,
For when
if
he's there, yeah.
definitely take him.
If he was gone, I'd take a receiver.
Yeah, and he has him as a safety.
He's a lot of things. I mean, it's kind of like what they got in Josh Allen last year.
Yeah.
Kind of similar types of
Yeah,
players.
He actually has it written down here too. He says, pairing Simmons with last
I didn't
year's
even read
first-round pick Josh Allen will give the Jaguars 2 elite defensive athletes to build around. He can play linebacker or safety.
Yeah, he really can. He played all over the field the entire season last year at Clemson. From what I watched, he was rushing the quarterback. He could play in the middle. He'd be all the way back there at the safety position as well. He is so versatile, and I love that about him. Great pick if he's even there.
Next one, pick number 10, is the Browns. Finally, for YouTube, have been praising him all day. It's Andrew Thomas.
There's no way. I mean, the 4th offensive lineman taken. Not
I
that
feel
he's.
like that's usually how it goes, though.
I know, but he should be. I'm saying Andrew Thomas should not be the 4th offensive line taken. Although last year the offensive line were drafted real out of order.
Yeah, exactly.
After
That's what I'm saying. I agree with exactly what he just said. No need to add on to that.
Yeah. Next one, pick number 11, it's the Jets. They have Clavon Chasen.
Yeah, great pick again. I do think
Chasen.
maybe for need-wise they could go somewhere at the receiver
Yeah,
position.
I'd go CeeDee Lamb.
But I do think they would be getting a good player out of a Clavon Chasen, just because of how quick he is off the edge, even for his size. It really just shocks me every time you watch him because he's a smaller guy, but he's so explosive and he can get through the offensive line very well.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember, is Leonard Williams I know he's not on the team anymore, but is he an edge rusher? Or
I think he was an interior.
Yeah.
Interior? Okay, well, either way, they traded him to the Giants this year, so that could help fill that position back up. But I do agree they probably should go with a wide receiver. They've had some issues there. Robbie Anderson has been trying, but it's not done. Next pick, number 12, we just talked about him. It's the Raiders and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I think that's what they got to do at 12. If CeeDee Lamb is there, you pick him. If he's not there, you go Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
And you got to get a wide receiver at 12. It's a glaring need for that team. And I understand there's other things, but they got plenty of draft picks to deal with. But the first priority's got to be receiver. If CeeDee Lamb is there, you take him.
And if
Yeah,
you want
but-
to see more about that, go check out our off-season
There you
outlook
go.
video
Another
on
plug.
the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay,
Yeah.
this next one.
Next one is pick 13. It's the Colts. He has Jordan Love. Ryan doesn't like it. Ryan, explain.
Well, I just don't know. I think that. Are you really gonna, give up on Jacoby Brissett after 1 year?
Also, look who's
Yeah, exactly. Justin Herbert is still on the board. So if you're going to do this, at least take Justin Herbert at 13, because that wouldn't be horrible. And, actually, that you could kind of say, based on the way he's rising throughout the Senior Bowl process and, the pre-draft process, you could say it's almost a steal. But, the Colts, they could use another wide receiver with, they got T.Y. Hilton, but he's struggled to stay healthy at times. They could beef up the secondary, maybe get, a guy like Christian Fulton here. And I don't even know if they should go quarterback first round because was Jacoby Brissett that bad? Because like
He wasn't that
this
bad,
team
but-
was 6-2.
But you
Like,
don't want that bad as your quarterback. The Colts have always had some really good quarterbacks. I think they want to go out and get their guy because they have some weapons around him. Marlon Mack's been doing okay. T.Y. Hilton's, he's been, Harris Campbell, Tyler Loves,
yeah,
Ebron, and Doyle.
that's a throwback.
I mean,
on
they
the
do have other
team.
guys in the offense, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the quarterback position. It just depends on what they see. And as Daniel Jeremiah noted, that they have not publicly committed to Jacoby Brissett as their starter in 2020.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. Next one, pick 14, is the Buccaneers. Here he is, Justin
Wow.
Herbert.
Now, I think. I'm sorry to take
No,
it from you. But I think Jameis Winston's gone. I don't think Bruce Arians is going to be willing to pay him that much money if he knows he can just go out and get a new quarterback and do the same exact thing. I think
if he get this quarterback, I think he'd be very excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. This would fit his offense very well. Justin Herbert has a good arm. He likes to throw it deep. Bruce Arians does in his offense. So I think that's a good fit and where they could definitely go at 14.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
he's going to fall this far, but if he did, that would be a great pick.
Yeah, if this happened, this would probably be the steal of the night, at least from what
Yes.
we've looked at so far. But, like, one thing I want to point out, you kind of alluded to it with the whole Jameis Winston thing. I believe Jameis Winston, did he say he wanted, like, a $30 million?
Yes,
It's like,
he did.
Jameis, you don't get $1 million for interception, dude. That's not how this works. Like, I think Justin Herbert, I think he's a guy he's got a lot of physical tools. He's probably the most physically gifted of the top quarterbacks in this class. He's 6'6", a good runner as well when he chooses to leave the pocket. So this would probably be the steal of the night.
Next pick 15, is the Broncos taking Jerry Jeudy. I likes it.
I do like it. I think they could go other positions, but I really like the combo of Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, especially since just losing Emmanuel Sanders last year to the trade. I think you go find someone to replace them, even though there are some weaknesses that you could address. You go with the best. If he's still there, you take it. So good.
Yeah, they could address the secondary. In
I
my
was
opinion,
thinking
that's
that.
what's been going down.
Especially if Chris Harris leaves.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
Which he will.
But Jerry
I still
Jeudy is
think
a
they're
very
the
good
best
wide
player.
receiver, and if that's if you want to give Drew Lock another wide receiver to use with Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, which is what he says here, then go ahead and do it. I think it's a good idea if that's what you want for your organization.
Yep.
All right. Next pick 16. It is the Falcons taking AJ Epineza.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a good pick, and I feel like we always see them mocked to get a defensive
Yeah.
lineman because they haven't had an elite guy. They've
Well,
had
actually,
good
no.
guys.
They had I forget his name, but someone did really good at the end of the season this year for them. They got a lot of sacks. I should know his name, but yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but I feel like
Good
there's-
job, Falcons player.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
good
job,
job,
buddy.
Sure,
But
Falcons
I feel like
fan.
they're always
Comments.
addressing needs there, and that would be a good pick to go.
Next pick is pick 17. Is the Cowboys with Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, that's a good one. They're going to need to adjust their secondary. Putting it simple, Xavier McKinney is a safe pick and a good pick at 17.
Yeah, I don't think it's horrible, but I mean, Grant Delpit is also still on the board, so I think those you got to compare those two as well. They
Yeah, I
could be pretty
could
close.
agree with that. You could also go cornerback at
Yeah.
the spot, but
Because there hasn't been a cornerback taken, has there?
no, there's not in this mock draft. So yeah, there are options, and it depends on who they sign back. Will they be able to sign back Amari and Dak? Whatever. We'll see when that comes closer. But for right now, it's good. Next pick, 18, is the Dolphins taking DeAndre Swift. I like this one.
I mean, I like the position as
Yeah,
well,
that's-
but I don't. I think Jonathan
Yep.
Taylor would be a better pick
Yeah.
here, and I think he would be a better fit in that offense, just because DeAndre Swift should be a first round prospect, but I think Jonathan Taylor has more explosion
Mm-hmm.
and is going to be able to get through the offensive line that's not the best quicker and get more yards, and that would work a lot better with this Dolphins offense.
I
Yeah.
agree with you so far. DJ explains himself by saying that him, DeAndre Swift, and Tua would create
That'd
some
be kind of
excitement.
cool.
Yeah, and just one quick thing I'd add about the team with two apart. You could also take Henry Ruggs here. Reunite him and Tua at the next
Yeah.
level. Henry Ruggs, I've been
But
I'm
also
pretty high on
Devontae
him.
Parker has been.
I know,
he's
got to
pretty
build
decent,
those
yeah.
weapons. They do have some promising offense. And then also, I do agree that Jonathan Taylor would also be a slightly better option as well.
Next pick, 19, is the Raiders once again. This one is Patrick Queen.
And I know Ryan might not love this pick as much as I do, but I've been telling the story a couple times, and I'm telling it again really quickly. Right, so I'm watching film on LSU, and I'm watching their top guys, and I got them all written down, and I'm writing stuff about them, and then here comes Patrick Queen. I didn't even have him written down, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy is good. So I ended up writing him down because he's that good, and I said, this guy should really. I think he could be a first-round prospect. I saw this and I said, thank you, Daniel Jeremiah, for realizing how good this player is, and I think that would be a position of need and a great pick for the Raiders.
Yeah, I walked into Tyler's room while he was scouting LSU. He was talking about Patrick Queen. He's like, I wasn't even going to scout him, but then I just watched him play, and he was making some great plays, so I started scouting him. Anyways, next one.
So many big
20,
plays.
the Jaguars
In the championship.
taking C.J. Henderson.
I mean, with the loss of Jalen Ramsey, I think you go secondary, but I think you go Trevon Diggs at this pick.
I could see secondary, but I also think that the Jaguars have been deprived of good wide receivers for a long time.
Yeah, DJ Chark
had a good year, though.
Yeah, I know, but DJ Chark, he
and this
took
is a wide receiver-filled draft. So.
Yeah, that's
Also,
true.
The question at this pick is, if there's a good quarterback there, do they want?
You gotta hope that one of the two work out with Minshew or Foles. You gotta hope that.
Yeah, I think so.
I would go Henry Ruggs here. That's just me. I just don't think you could pass up on his speed.
Yeah.
But this would not be horrible by any means. And look who's next.
Yep, Ryan foreshadowed it. Pick 21 is the Eagles, and like he said, Henry Ruggs the third.
Yeah, they need a really quick receiver. They need a receiver in general. Deshaun Jackson went down last year. He's even faster than
They need a receiver that's going to stay healthy.
Yes, they do. And Henry Ruggs would be a great fit for this team as well. And it would be easy #1 target day one. Because they have no receivers. Tight ends, yes, no receivers.
You can't argue with the receiver pick. They really just need
they need a receiver.
And it's also kind of, it's funny how the Jaguars in Daniel's mock picked C.J. Henderson as the cornerback, and then the Eagles picked Henry Ruggs. I almost think, I don't think either of them are bad, but I personally think if they were flip-flopped with Ruggs to the Jaguars and Henderson go and help that horrid Eagles secondary, I think that would probably be what I would do if I were both of those teams. But again, not horrible. A lot of needs.
It definitely could help on that secondary. Next pick, another wide receiver. This is pick 22 of the Bills. They take T. Higgins in DJ's opinion.
Well, now they've built up their defense. They have a strong defense. I think you do go offense with this pick. The offensive line has been improving. You look at the running back position. Now they have that filled. So you go over the wide receiver position, and yes, I know we're starting to see John Ross emerge, but why not get T. Higgins? He's got the talent, but make it a nice tandem, and I think that would go great with Josh Allen in the offense.
Yeah, personally, I think that most of the spots on the Bills are pretty much filled. They could maybe go safety. I don't know who their safeties are in particular, but they could just use another good wide receiver, and most of the spots, they're a pretty filled team, in my opinion. They have some good players at a lot of positions.
They do.
I know it's a little too early to be looking ahead to next year, and I'm just saying the Bills are close, man. I really think that if they get that #1 receiver, if they continue to let Josh Allen develop, I don't think this team is that far from being a true contender, and this pick would be a great step in them, making that leap, in that division and in that conference.
All right, next pick. This one's a little early for this team as what we've usually seen.
Yeah.
This is 23, and the Patriots taking Grant Delpit.
I do like Grant Delpit as a player, but I think the offensive line and the wide receiver position for the Patriots were the most two glaring needs for them. Although they could just go best player available. We've seen that a lot with the Patriots. And if that's the case, I think Grant Delpit's a good pick. But I think maybe you could go with a guy like Justin Jefferson at the wide receiver position to try and enhance that group and get someone in there that Tom Brady or someone else. Or someone else.
Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
I honestly, I just want to say, we haven't seen Jake Fromm in this yet. I just think Jake Fromm would fit so well with the Patriots. Whether it's first round, second round, I just can totally see him in that Patriots uniform, in that system. I think he'd be a great fit there. Whether it's to start or to sit behind Brady. But if you hear Jake Fromm, Tom Brady comparisons, just know Ryan from the touchdown table said it first.
Ryan from the touchdown table.
Remember Ryan from the touchdown table?
Yeah, no, I said it first.
Mark his words.
Yes.
You guys covered most of it. Just the thing is they have Devin McCourty, so it's a pretty good safety.
Yep.
But who knows? Next pick, Tyler foreshadowed a bit. 24, Saints, Justin Jefferson.
I didn't even realize he was the next pick on here, but I think that's a safe pick to go. But you do have Michael Thomas, but you also have to remember it might not be Drew Brees next year.
Taysom Hill.
And Taysom Hill or whoever it is might need some help.
Unless they want to tie back Teddy.
Yeah, they could.
Well, I've heard rumors that they are invested in Taysom Hill.
Yes, I've heard that too. I think he compared him. Who did he compare him?
Steve Young?
That'd be very interesting to see that.
I think Sean Payton compared Taysom Hill to Steve Young.
And it'd be interesting to see Taysom and Lamar in the same league because they'd probably be
They're already in the same league.
Well,
I know what you're
starting.
saying.
25.
25 is the Vikings with Javon Kinlaw.
For South Carolina, he was really a reason why, especially early on in the season, this team was actually looking to be really good. And they put some good games together, and that was, like I said, a huge thanks to him.
That Georgia game.
Yeah, he makes big impacts on games, as we saw in that game, and in other games throughout the season. For a team that might be losing some linemen in free agency, I think that's a good pick to go.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, the Vikings, well, like to talk about the Bills, they have a lot of good positions filled.
They do.
Their defensive line, which is what this is, that's pretty filled too. They could go safety, I think, but both of them, I think, are off the board. They're both good ones in this one. So let's find a pick. Next one is 2060 Dolphins once again, Austin Jackson.
Yeah, build up the offensive line. If you're going to draft DeAndre Swift or Jonathan Taylor, whoever it is.
And if you're drafting Tua, you want to say.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
If you're drafting Tua. But they do have to build up this offensive line. Like I said, I mean, it's a boring pick, especially for the first round, to go offensive line.
They have 3 of them.
But that's really one of the most important positions on the field. And that's where your entire team starts. Every single play starts with the offensive line.
Yeah, and I think offensive line is a good pick for Miami to consider, even though, there's a lot of good offensive linemen in this class. I feel like it's hard to find offensive linemen and really good ones in free agency. There might be like 1 or 2 out there, but then your odds are pretty low because, as soon as that free agency hits, they just boom, they're gone. So I think that the draft would be good to get a young, fresh guy in there to protect Tua in this scenario.
Next pick, 27, the Seahawks take Ross Blacklock.
Seahawks, why are you doing this again?
I mean, all right, here's the thing, right? I don't agree with this pick, but I would not be surprised to see the Seahawks do this. I mean, in the first round 2 years ago, they went Rashad Penny, kind of shocked the world.
LJ Collier.
LJ Collier last year.
Same school, TCU.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's just they pick guys that are under the radar and just really don't turn out well.
Yeah.
Rashad Penny.
Okay, where is Christian Fulton? I'm sorry, I just gotta say that. Where is Christian Fulton? And don't say LSU. I mean, where in this mock draft?
And DJ backs up this pick by saying that Blacklock is one of his favorite prospects in the draft. Just wanted to say that as a quick note for DJ's sake.
I haven't watched enough of it yet, but a little bit.
Next one is pick 28. It's the Ravens with Kenneth Murray.
This guy's a tackling machine. I mean, if you watch Oklahoma tape, he's all over the field on every single play, making almost every single tackle. It's very exciting to see, and I think he would just add even more physicalness to an already physical defense. And for a team that's that good, you go best player available, and I think that's Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, I will say, or go ahead, finish.
Or maybe Christian Fulton. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, Christian Fulton, I think he would be a good pick as well, but, they do have Marcus Peters, who they acquired.
Yes.
Could go wide receiver, though.
Yeah, that's true, because it's not an attractive destination for receivers in free agency because of the way Lamar runs a lot. And I think the Ravens championship window is shorter than people realize, so I think best player available, just do it.
Next one, pick 29, it's the Titans, taking Marlon Davidson.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some of Auburn this year, but I don't know much about Marlon Davidson to make a fair evaluation of him, but I think there are better players available, I'll say that.
You nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Next one, pick 30, is the Packers' Laviska Shenault.
Yeah, one of the many wide receivers in this wide receiver-filled draft out of Colorado. Kind of an underrated guy. You don't hear about him much when you talk about college football because he went to Colorado. But a guy that could make an impact for this Packers team in need of someone for Aaron Rodgers to trust. But I don't know. I just feel like he'd just be another one of those guys that you hear the name of on the team and be like, okay, well, he's his receiver, but he's not the number one. And Devontae Adams always kind of have that top dog.
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Yeah,
not a bad pick.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, you can see it. Next one, 31. Well, we don't really know the order of this.
Yeah, these last two were not show. We won't know by the time this video comes out, but
we don't know when we're making this. Yeah. But he has the Chiefs at 31, so I'm guessing he thinks the 49ers are going to win. He has Zach Bond.
Way to figure that out.
I know, right? At 31 is the Chiefs.
Yeah. Defensively, they've improved a lot, but you look offensively, and really the only place they could improve on is the offensive line. And especially now, their defense is getting better, especially the defensive line. I keep saying especially, I'm sorry. But the defensive line...
Especially.
You're saying it especially often.
I'm especially sorry. But the defensive line is a lot better now, so I think they could go offensive line for this pick. But Zach Bond wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I look at this pick, and again, I still think that I think they can do one or two things. I think that you could take Jonathan Taylor, who is still available in this mock, and I know they have a plethora of running backs, but
Where's the running back?
what?
Are you saying that they could go running back?
I think they could.
I think
Especially
so.
with Jonathan Taylor available, I think they could, or again with Christian Fulton. I know that defense is getting better, but they're still not quite elite yet. They're getting there, though. They're getting there.
And pick 32, the 49ers, A.J. Terrell.
I feel like this is a very popular pick for the 49ers to go out and get. I've seen a lot of mock drafts with A.J. Terrell going to the 49ers, and I agree with it because I think you got Richard Sherman on one side, which they're going to need to start starting to groom some new guys in there once Richard Sherman is gone. I think A.J. Terrell would be a good person to do that.
Not a bad position. I still think there's better players available, but this wouldn't be horrible. The only alternative, I'd say, maybe go offensive line, but a lot of offensive linemen have already been taken.
Make sure to go follow Move the Sticks.
That's what I was going to say.
Because he's the one that made this mock draft, and we were just judging it.
Yeah.
Also, make sure to go follow at the Touchdown Table on Instagram while you're doing that. So at the Move the Sticks and at the Touchdown Table, and subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Make sure to comment, please. We love comments.
If you agree with us, disagree with us, have something to say about the players, just say it down below. We'll
Please
answer.
do.
Like the video, hit the notification bell, and once you do all those things, you can click off the video. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
See ya.